Hey guys, welcome back to more AFK Arena. In today's video, we have Joan of Arc, the newest dimensional in the game. Wasn't in the normal patch notes when they did the update about half an hour ago. She popped up in there, and she is here. So I thought this was coming because then they after the patch notes on the test server, they did put like one of the silhouettes of a new character out on Twitter. So that's how they did it. They just patched it in with the update, and here she is. So we're going to take a look at her now. I want to take a minute quickly just to go ahead and look over here at the maintenance notes. So they said she's getting added in. Now, she is going to be available to buy, as always, at half price. However, there will be the standard event. I'm assuming it's going to be the same as dimensional events always are with the exchange. We'll check it out when it drops in the game tomorrow. But there will be that event where you can collect the points, and then, you know, you've got to exchange her. You can't exchange for her until the 5th of the 9th. So, you know, you got to wait a couple months before you can do the exchange. However, when it's done, if you don't have her, because she's not like a collaboration one, she will be available in the Labyrinth store, kind of like Arthur. So she'll always be obtainable for people. Now, they do also say added the bountiful trials. There's nothing about a test version, so I hope there's still a test version. Otherwise, this could be the first spend I have on the test server. So we'll wait and see, because if they don't have a trial version, I will buy her on the test server. Otherwise, I'll just wait. So that is what we got there. So let's take a look at her skills. Also, I've been a bit sick, so sorry if I sound a little bit average. The whole family got it. I thought I avoided it, and now I'm starting to get it once they're all getting better. But let's check out her ultimate skill. Now, she's a little bit confusing. Let me go through all the skills, and then we'll explain it and have a look at her. But her ultimate, they're loving skills that have a passive portion and an active portion. I feel like each character should just have 8 skills from now on, 4 passives and 4 actives. It seems to be what they want to do. But Joan of Arc's standard protects her, which is like the standard, the battle standard. The flag. Okay. The battle standard protects her, reducing her damage taken by 30% and grants her immunity from knockbacks. Not too bad. Straight mitigation straight up. Also, she is a strength-based support class, which is an interesting one. So, you know, she gets... I honestly don't... I think it's not too bad on the artifacts she get. We'll talk about that when we actually test play her, once we can equip the artifacts, because I do want to do some testing with that. But she's immune to knockbacks, and she takes 30% less damage. The reduced damage is converted into Joan of Arc's protection value up to 100% of her max health. So basically, if she would have taken 100 damage, she only takes 70 damage, and then 30 damage of that is put into this protection value, which I didn't see like a gauge on her above her head or anything to represent it, but it's something that is there. We'll have a look in a minute. When actively used, Joan of Arc repels most debuffs from all allied heroes and restores their health equal to 100% of her current protection value. Keeping in mind, protection value can go up to 100% of her max health. So when she ults, theoretically, if she's got 100% protection value, she's healing them for 100% of her max health, which is quite huge. Now, I don't think it's going to ramp up that quick, but when we look at her furniture and stuff, it seems like it can do a little bit better. The health healed is no less than 250% of her attack rating. I'd be curious to see if there's a ceiling on attack rating, but I guess not. When Joan of Arc casts her ultimate, allied heroes except herself gain 12% attack rating for 8 seconds. This effect cannot stack. Protection value will be cleared each time she uses her ultimate ability. So as she takes damage, some of it's getting mitigated, contributing to that protection value. But then when she casts her ult, she heals based on that protection value and gives allies an attack buff. However, she loses that protection value. Furniture solves a bit of this. And then this goes, when she casts her ultimate ability, she herself recovers 5% of her max health per second for 8 seconds. Not a bad skill up. And this one, the allies gain 20% attack. So decent little buff. So I do like this. I do like this ultimate ability. The passive's nice. Then we get into this one. I'll explain this one as we go. Once again, they're a bit confusing. Joan of Arc waives her standard and instructs a phantom standard to charge with her when she enters the battlefield, dealing damage equal to 100% of her attack rating to enemies close to her. If there are enemies blocking her path during her charge, deals damage equal to 200% of her attack rating twice to enemies within a certain range in front of her and knocks them in the air. Cool beans. Sorry, I really struggled reading that for some reason. Got dyslexic or something like that. I don't know. I couldn't read it. My bad. I suck at reading. You guys know that. Whenever Joan of Arc launches an attack, except for her ultimate, restores health equal to 75 to 70% of her attack rating for herself and all allied heroes behind the Phantom Standard. When Joan of Arc carries her standard to the enemy's backline, the Phantom Standard will stay there permanently. So that's that. So basically, when she, you know what, screw it. This is the first, we never do this, but we're going to do this because I just want to show this ability because it's confusing when you, so she does this and see you got the Phantom Standards and they basically follow her line. So if there's no enemy in front of her, she'll actually run directly to the back row. But because there's this enemy that keeps getting in the way, she keeps stopping. Now, as soon as they hit the back row, it said, I thought the ability was as soon as she hits the back row, she use... Oh, wait, that's in her signature item. I believe as soon as she hits the back row with the signature item, she'll use her ultimate ability. But now they stay there and then keep that in mind. So keep those standards at the back in mind when we look at the rest of her ability. But that ability just basically says that it summons them and then they follow her position. And then she's immune to knockbacks from the passive on her ultimate. So, and then if anyone gets in her way, she's going to knock them back. So eventually she's going to get to that back row unless she dies first. Cool beans. Curious to see if they stay when she dies. I haven't tested that. But that is that ability. Now, skill ups, increases the damage, increases the healing, and then increases the healing again. So skill ups, not too crazy on that one. Next ability, Joan of Arc swings her standard, providing a shield that has a value equal to 180% of her attack rating to herself and allied heroes behind the Phantom Standards for 5 seconds. So you want to get those standards fairly far in to be able to getting the benefit on your allied heroes, especially if you have melee units that are pushing forward. She deals damage equal to 220% of her attack rating to enemies within a certain range in front 3 times. Cool beans. So it's a shield and some damage. That's going to be that one. Extra damage, increased shield value, and then this one. This is the 30 engraving. Whenever allied heroes behind the Phantom Standard receive healing from Joan of Arc, their attack rating and defense rating are increased by 10% for 8 seconds. Effect stacks up to 30% of Joan of Arc's corresponding stat. It's not bad, considering that she's already giving a 20% attack buff here, and then you're getting another further, not 30% flat attack buff to their stat, but 30% of her attack rating buff. So she does have pretty decent buffs, plus you get a bit of defense. Moving on to the next one, another passive. All enemies in the area behind the Phantom Standard take damage equal to 140% of Joan of Arc's attack rating once every 3 seconds. Now, when it says behind, I believe when, I'm trying to look at my screen because it's mirrored, like this is the enemy side. Once the standards are right here, if they're just in the battlefield, I think that's what it means by behind, not behind the other way, if that makes sense. So you want her to push them all the way to the back, but the standards to the back. It's confusing wording. Yes. Whenever an enemy takes damage from this skill 3 times, the next hit from this skill additionally stuns the enemy for 1.5 seconds and increases its damage by 20% of her protection value up to 200% of her attack rating. Now, increases the stun duration to 2.5 seconds. Nice. Increases the damage. Then 60 engraving. Whenever an enemy takes damage from this skill 2 times, stun is triggered and damage is increased. So in this, it initially takes 4 times because you got the 3 times and then the next hit is going to cause it, which means once every 12 seconds, they're going to be stunned for 2.5 seconds. However, when we take into account the 60 engraving, that's once every 6 seconds, enemies are going to be stunned for 2.5 seconds. That's pretty decent lockout, like pretty decent control. I do like that, if my math is correct on that one. Next up, let's take a look at her signature item. After Joan of Arc places the Phantom Standards in the enemy's backline, allied heroes take 6% less damage. The reduced damage will be converted into Joan of Arc's protection value. So obviously, protection value important for when she ultimates. It's going to control how much she heals. And by allies being behind that standard, they're going to get mitigation. So if an ally would have taken 100 damage, they instead take 94, and 6% is converted into her protection value, which is really nice. Extra way to get that protection value. Now, this one just increases that to 12%, and then a level 30 increases it to 16%. So this is one of those ones where I don't think level 30 is like the most necessary signature item. Like, it doesn't give you an extra effect. It just buffs the effect that level 10 gives you by 4%. But at level 20, for the first 3 seconds of a battle, Joan of Arc is immune to all damage and converts them into protection value instead. Not too bad. Really, really helpful for her just to go in front row, take a bunch of damage, then it converts into a protection value. When she ults, she just tops everyone off. Pretty cool. I don't know how she's going to scale at endgame, whether she's just going to flop as soon as that ends or whether she's going to be effective. We will have to wait and see. Moving on from that, we have the furniture. When Joan of Arc reaches the enemy's backline, she's able to cast her ultimate without using any energy. Really, really nice. That combined with the 20 signature item and like obviously the heal that it provides, getting that protection value up. It's really nice. I like the sound of it on paper. And then level 9, when Joan of Arc casts her ultimate, the protection value will no longer be cleared, but will reduce to 50% of its original value. Not too bad. If she's at 100, she'll heal allies for 100% of her max health. And then it goes down to 50. If she instantly goes again, it's another 50% heal. It's not too bad. And then after that one will go down to 25. So whenever she ults, whatever it's at, it halves. And it doesn't like stay at 50% the whole time. Like it'll drop to half of whatever when she uses it. You guys get what I'm saying. Anyway, let's check her out. Let's go here. We already had a look at her skills, but once again, that's her summoning those standards. She's going to knock enemies back, and then she's going to quickly go again, knock them back again, do a couple hits, and then she's going to go again, knock them back again, and get those standards all the way there. Now, she doesn't do her 3 furniture here because we don't have furniture in this test, but that gives you pretty much a look at her skills. Now we're going to go over here. Something cool that I found is I just put her in the back row here. Let's just throw her in the back row. I don't think it really matters what else we put in the team, to be honest. Let's do something like that. And let's take a look. So the cool thing that I noticed is, and I don't know if this one will do it. Yeah, here it is. So because you can see she goes directly to the back row, instantly casts her ult when she gets there. Because the back row enemy was a melee unit, which was the Aioli, and he ran down out of her line, she like runs in a direct line. So if those melee units drag down, they're going to get out of the way. So I'm thinking something like Chicken will drag the enemies out of the way as well and stop that. Now, if they're a ranged enemy, I'm thinking if she starts in the back row, then she's just going to run up and straight push them anyway and get there pretty quick. So I think you can really cheese it by putting her in the back row, and then it just becomes, is she better off getting there super fast, or is she better off going in the front row, getting there slowly, but taking that extra damage, which adds to her protection value, so that she can take some damage, mitigate some damage, and when she finally gets to that back row, she's going to heal everyone up. So I don't know what's going to be the best way to play it, but like she has the option. So I really like this kit. It's just a matter, and like keeping in mind, she gives like up to a 50% attack buff to allies. Like I feel like she has a lot. We just have to wait and see how she scales in practice. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I feel like at like mid-level deficits, like at like 100 to 150 level deficit, I feel like she'll be really strong. And then 200 plus level deficit, we're going to have to kind of wait and see on, you know, whether she just flops. And, you know, at that stage, those teams are very specific. So to see if she can help, but I mean, even just the damage immunity at the start of battle, she has mitigation as well. I'm keen to see where she goes, but we will be testing her. Like I said, if we don't get a trial version, I will go ahead and buy her on one of these test server accounts so that we can test her, but that should be tomorrow. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.